So how exactly do you solve one of these? Welcome back to Spade Magic, the channel that brings you tips, tricks and thoughts about magic, performing and entertainment. So if that's the type of content that you enjoy, remember to hit that subscribe button so that you can be kept up to date with all of the latest videos. In this video, I'm going to go over and show you the exact method that I learned to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube and impress your friends. Now, if you don't have a Rubik's Cube of your own already, I will leave some links and information down in the description below to make it a little bit easier so you can find one for yourself. So let's not keep you waiting any longer and start learning how to solve the Rubik's Cube. So before we get started, we are going to have different names for the different sides of the cube. So for example, this will be the top or T, this will be the downward side or D, this will be the left side or L, this is the right side or R, this is the front or the face or F, and this is the back or B. Also, while we're turning the different sides, if you turn it in a clockwise position like that, it'll just be the letter of that side. But if you turn it in a counterclockwise like this, it'll be called that letter prime. So for example, if you turn it like this, it'll be top, so T. If I turn it counterclockwise, that'll be D prime. And the same goes for all the other sides. So when you're looking at the cube, when you're looking at a specific side and you see the center color or the center square right over there, so if this one is orange, that means all of the colors around it are going to be orange. I will also leave some notes down in the description so that you can check out the exact sequences if you get stuck along the way. So now that the cube is all mixed up, what you need to do is pick a color that is going to be your top. I'm going to pick white. Step number one is you need to solve a cross for your tops, and also the colors of the sides need to correspond with those over there. So if that's white, that would need to be orange. If that's white, that would need to be green. So let's say we start with blue over there. So that would need to be white, that would need to be blue. It's laying right on top, but as you can see, the colors are reversed. You turn the cube so that the color you need is pointing to your right, and then you're going to turn the right side so that that square is in the center, furthest away from you. And then the sequence of moves is T prime, B, T. So now you can see that we've got that color right over there, perfect. And you're going to do the same for all the other sides. And now you've got your white cross with all of the corresponding colors in the correct places. Once you have your white cross solved, you want to start solving the corners of your top side over there. And just like before, the colors do need to correspond with the colors that are laying on the side. Now you could have a few different situations over here, but I'll go through each and every one of them so that you would know exactly the sequence of turns and rotations that you would need to do to get this done. So the first thing you want to do is find a corner cube that's got white in it. So for example, if we go with this one that's got white, red and blue, you can see that it's laying directly under where it needs to be. If you're looking at the cube and the white side is facing to your right, this is the sequence R prime, D prime, R. And now you've got that square in the correct position with all the colors lined up. If the square is laying directly under where it needs to be, and you've got white facing you, this is the sequence that you'll need to do. D, R prime, D prime, R. That's it for step number 2. For step number 3, you want to solve this middle layer right over here. In order to do that, you're going to flip the entire cube upside down so that your white side or your top side is now at the bottom and your yellow side is now the top. The first thing you want to do when solving the middle layer is check which cube has the same color as the corresponding side color. For example, if this one has green and red, we want to go over to where it's green and red. So we know that this cube now needs to fit in there. If you line it up, you could have two situations. Either way, you need to move this cube to the left or to the right. Now it's the exact same sequence of moves, but they're just done in opposite directions. So what you want to do is line up so that you've got a straight line right over here, and we know that it needs to go to the left. So this is the sequence that you need to do to move that cube into the left. T prime, L prime, T, L. Once you do the first step, you'd find that you'd have a white square facing towards your left. You turn it so that it faces you, and then you do the following sequence. T, R, T prime, R prime. So now you can see we've got the red and the green square exactly where it needs to be. See, the red and blue is actually stuck right over here. Because it's on the right, you're gonna do this sequence, which is exactly the same sequence to move a cube to the right. So T, R, T prime, R prime. Turn the white so that it faces you. T prime, L prime, T, L. And now you can see that that red and blue has moved out of that place, and you can work with it. Because now we need to move it to the right. You're going to line it up again and do the sequence. T, R, T prime, R. Turn the cube so that the white side faces you. T prime, L prime, T, L. And there you go. And now you'd have solved all. Step number 3 is solving a yellow cross. Now don't worry about aligning the colors. It's not like when you solve the white. Don't worry about that. As long as you've got a yellow cross, you're gonna have a few situations. Either way, you've got an L or a reverse L just like this, or you would have a horizontal line. So all yellows right across like that. It doesn't really matter which of these you have, whether it's the L or the horizontal line, you'll do the exact same sequence. Then this is the sequence you're gonna need to do. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Now I've got the horizontal line. So you're gonna do it again. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Step number 4, once you've solved your yellow cross, you're gonna have 3 different situations that you could be in. One yellow square at the top, just the cross and no other yellow squares at the top. Or the third situation where you could have the yellow cross with 2 yellow squares laying anywhere at the top. In this case, I've got 1 yellow square at the top, which is ideally what you would want. But you can also check out the notes down in the description so that you'd know how to position the cube and the colors if you have 2 squares or no squares. Because I've got 1 yellow square at the top just like this, I'm going to position it so that that yellow square is laying in the bottom left corner, and R, U, R prime, U, R, U, U, R prime. Once you've completed the entire yellow side, we're going to move on to step number 5, the corner permutation, which basically just means we are going to get the corners into their correct places. What you want to look for in your cube are headlights. That means the 2 sides would need to be the same color. So those don't match, those don't match. Those do match, so those are my headlights. I'm going to line those up with their corresponding color and then turn the entire cube so that it's facing towards the back. R prime, F, R prime, B, B, R, F prime, R prime, B, B, R, R. Once you finish that, you would have either a solid line just across like this, or you're going to have headlights across all sides. Regardless of which of those you have, you're just going to turn it so that it matches up with all the corresponding colors. If you've got a solid line, you face it towards the back. If you've got no solid line, it doesn't really matter as long as you've lined all the colors up. Step number 6, which is our edge permutation, which means getting these center squares exactly where they need to be. So once you've figured out whether or not you've got a solid line and positioned it to the back of the cube, you're going to do R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, R. So all you do is repeat the same sequence as before, and that is going to move all of these center squares in a counterclockwise position to get them exactly where they need to be. R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R. Final turn, R. There you have it. Now if you do get stuck at any point while solving your Rubik's Cube, I have left some notes down in the description so that you can check exactly where you are and how to get it done. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button so that you can be kept up to date with all of the latest videos that will be coming your way every single week.